the beauty of the ruins, that speak the history of the wars for men's minds beyond warring frontiers.
What quality of light is this right now? Okay, it's soft. Because why? The clouds soften the light source, right? It's not hard. If you look at each other...
As a commercial photographer, I actually specialize more for personal projects, more about people, documentative journalism. When this project was given to me, the topic really brought a lot of interest to me because when we talk about war-torn countries where people have suffered for years and how they've recovered, which is right up my alley, I thought it to be very interesting because my passion is about people. I guess you could say because of my experiences also in life, and hopefully my photography speaks well enough to express how I felt or what I saw.
Cambodia, the land of the Khmers. It is famous for the ruins of Angkor. It is also home to the Killing Fields, one of the most infamous genocides of modern history. Beyond the famous ruins of Angkor and beyond the Killing Fields, Cambodia is a land of hope, of beauty, of serenity. Ancient monuments, endless paddy fields, skilled craftsmen, a bustling capital city. Yet, beneath the surface of this tranquil land of 14 million people is a history steeped in blood. Following centuries of decline in French rule, after 30 years of war and genocide, Cambodia has been at peace for only a short time. How much of a difference can just a few years make? Well, 40% of the population live in poverty. Yet, as we shall see, Cambodians have enormous resilience and inner strength. We start our journey in bustling Phnom Penh, a city of 1.3 million people. Looking out at this bustling, vibrant scene, it's hard to imagine that from 1975 to 1979, this city was completely deserted. Not a single soul, the utter silence of a dead city. Everyone was forced out by the Khmer Rouge into the countryside, and for many, to their deaths. That's in the past. Today, Phnom Penh epitomizes a country forging ahead for its place among nations. We're now at the Central Market, the oldest of the city's markets, to look for local crafts and war souvenirs. Built by the French in 1937, it's packed full of little shops. Many of the craftsmen and shopkeepers are ex-soldiers and landmine victims.
I think all these countries like Cambodia, Thailand, Hong Kong, they all have these similar marketplaces. But if you go to some of the local ones, you'll find it is a little bit more interesting, more unique in a sense, how crowded, how packed. But when you start looking at the kind of stuff you see, like these spiders, these tarantula-sized spiders, really big and black. And the thought of just chewing into one of those, oh gosh. And they fry it and they tell me it's really nice. And it's so nice that even someone from my crew went up and actually ate one, and I had to photograph this. But I couldn't believe his expression, even as he chewed on it. I mean, my stomach just turned. But this guy, I suppose he can eat anything, because the look he gave as he was eating it literally looked like he's enjoying it. But anyway, I think that was the highlight for the day.
That was a tiring day. Now let's head back and rest well tonight, for tomorrow we visit the killing fields. We begin our exploration of the killing fields at To Sling Museum here in Phnom Penh. Formerly a school, it was taken over by the Khmer Rouge and became a torture center. Of the 17,000 sent here, only 7 are believed to have survived. These are the tombs of the last people to die here.
Just the thought of going to a place like this, it really provoked my heart. And when we got there, you can almost sense it too, because it's so peaceful and quiet. You can almost feel. But as you go through, you'll see all these chambers, torture chambers, the cells they were held in, and the facility in itself, and some of the photographs you see. I'll tell you, it's just unimaginable what we as humans, some of us, can really do to one another. And that really killed me.
The poor souls who were sent here lived horribly and painfully. Most did not die here. They died horribly and painfully not far from here. To see where the victims were killed and buried, we travel 15 kilometers outside of Phnom Penh. In these quiet and tranquil fields, the bodies of 9,000 people were found. Men, women, children, even babies. This is Chongek Memorial. This Buddhist stupa with glass sides contains some 5,000 skulls. These are some of the mass graves. Take a closer look at the skulls. No bullet holes. To save bullets, many of the victims were killed with hammers, spears, knives. Some were just clubbed to death, some buried still alive. Horrific as Chongek is, it is just one of many hundreds of such sites across Cambodia.
The minute I saw these skulls, I just started getting chills and goosebumps, you know. So just to get myself out of feeling so miserable for these people, I walked out to the killing field area. And this very nice lady, she was telling us too, some of her family members have been affected by this also, the Khmer Rouge time. But the hardship and the struggle she gone through, you can tell it shows on her body, her hands, and even her eyes. Thank God now there's a sense of calmness to it.
During the war in neighboring Vietnam, Cambodia was neutral. But the Vietnamese guerrilla fighters were using the territory as safe havens and to smuggle supplies. With the end of the war in Vietnam in 1975, the Cambodian communists, the Khmer Rouge, were able to seize power. We now leave the recent horrors of the killing fields behind and head to the splendor of the ancient past. the famed ruins of Angkor. But before we get there, we're making a couple of stops along the way and checking out the unique attractions that can be found at Siem Reap.
While we were heading out to our next location, the sights that you see, it's quite refreshing because you see fields of rice paddies. And on top of that, you'll see, as you're traveling by car, you'll see these buses. And these buses are packed to the max, including the top of the bus. I mean, you see people sitting on top of the bus, even hanging on to the back of the bus. It's something you would never expect to see.
A smaller temple that's even older than Angkor Wat. This is Wat Nokor. Built in the 11th century, some think this was the test site for Angkor Wat, built a century later. Within these ancient walls, amazingly, there is another temple, a Buddhist temple fused onto the ancient Hindu exterior walls. It's been said that Cambodia is one of the most mine-infested countries in the world. Is this true? Are landmines still a danger? To get answers, we were given the rare privilege to visit the Cambodian Mine Action Center. The Cambodian Mine Action Center has a big task, making Cambodia free of millions of landmines. About 3,000 people are working for CMAC. Today, after decades of hard and dangerous work, the danger posed by landmines is confined mainly to the remote border areas. It's not just a government effort to get rid of the mine problem. Individuals are also involved.
Wow, hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Hi, my name is Wayne.
Yes. My name is Akira's wife. Akira is the director here, but he is not here today.
So tell me, what does your organization do here?
My organization here is, we have 17 children that some is orphan, some lose leg or lose arm by the landmine. They come from around Cambodia, especially from the Thai border.
Oh, near the Thai border?
Yeah, because in the Thai border have many landmines.
When we got there, yes, it's quite interesting because they have like a mock-up of landmine. And what they do is they teach people, or the locals, how to demine some of the landmines. They've also made it into like an orphanage. It was amazing, the energy and the drive to survive that these kids have. You know, I guess maybe being young has an advantage. And watching them playing volleyball, literally playing volleyball with crutches. I mean, wow, the strength. You know, it's amazing, I think. Just so that these children will get a sense of hope, you know, to be in a family one day. And for me, I can understand it because I was an orphan.
Nestled in the middle of Cambodia is one of the largest freshwater lakes in Asia. Half of the fish consumed in the country comes from this lake.
Some of them, it's like they do, although they've been affected by the past, the present life situation, you can almost feel that it's like a stress-free life compared to how we, you know, in our everyday life, we stress for every little thing, and it just affects us physically and mentally. But with them, you can almost feel the difference.
We're just at the outskirts of Angkor, at the nearest town to the ruins, Siem Reap. The very name itself hints of the country's violent past. Siem Reap means Siam defeated, commemorating a victory against the Siamese centuries ago. A booming town, Siem Reap is an excellent place to discover the vibrancy of Cambodian culture and arts. Apsara dance, The traditional dance of the Khmers is about 1,000 years old, accompanied by musical instruments unique to the Khmers. Siem Reap is also home to Artisans Angkor, a national project to teach and promote the ancient crafts. It's been a tiring journey, but the best awaits us. Tomorrow, it's a journey to back in time, 1,000 years to the city of Angkor. Angkor, first built in the 9th century, Angkor means city in Sanskrit. And what a city it was. The place just staggers the imagination. No one knows for sure just how big the city was. Definitely many hundreds of square kilometers, perhaps as much as 1,000. In its time, it was by far the largest city in the world. It's staggering to realize it's probably about the same size as Los Angeles is today. The Khmers once ruled across most of Southeast Asia. Then in 1431, the city was abandoned after fighting with Siam and likely food and water shortages. Angkor was declared a World Heritage Site in 1992. The most famous and best preserved the ruins is Angkor Wat. Wat means temple in Khmer. So this was likely the main temple of Angkor. Angkor Wat is just a tiny fraction of even the recovered parts of the city. Yet by itself, Angkor Wat is the world's largest religious building.
I bet you guys can't believe how steep this is. And this is the Angkor Wat, the steepest stairway I've ever climbed. And I bet most of you don't know why it's so steep. They made it steep so that your backside never faces the king. If you want to feel this experience, the only place you can do it is here in Angkor Wat. But I'm going down now.
Do you see these holes in the stones? These stones come from a quarry about 60 kilometers from Angkor. To ferry these stones here, wooden blocks were hammered into these holes. Just this temple alone took 50,000 craftsmen and laborers 40 years to build. It's not widely known that Angkor Wat in its day served two religions. First Hindu, then Buddhist, when the Siamese came in the 12th century. It is also considered the epitome of Khmer architecture. It is the symbol on Cambodia's state flag, a reflection of the past and a hope of the future. It is the only state flag in the world with a building depicted. There is much more to Angkor than just Angkor Wat. Here at Bayon, a collection of 37 towers each have 4 giant faces, each looking in one direction. There is some argument as to whether this is the face of Buddha or that of the king looking over his people. And Taprom, famous for its massive trees growing throughout the complex.
walking through, there was this one interesting structure that we run into. When you look at the structure, the staircase, I mean, it was almost quite vertical, the steps. And being afraid of heights, I'm not quite comfortable with heights. Just the thought of climbing that, you know, I didn't think about doing it. But of course, trying to be more adventurous, I tried it. Of course, and my knees started wiggling. And I should say, this is probably the closest I'll ever get to rock climbing. I mean, I was so embarrassed. I wouldn't even doubt people were laughing at me from behind.
Despite the 30 years of war that swept around these great ruins, Angkor was largely untouched. Ironically, some believe the landmines put around this area by the Khmer Rouge helped preserve the ruins. Sadly, over the decades, this once proud city has been ravaged by looters and by the forces of nature. Only a tiny part of this great city has been recovered. The bulk of it was reclaimed by the jungle centuries ago, and there, the city remains.
So for the people of Cambodia, I mean, my heart really goes for the people that have experienced or gone through many of the hardships and sufferings of post-war. And I really wish the best for the Cambodian people.
Cambodia has been a country of surprises. I had expected bomb-damaged buildings in Phnom Penh. I didn't see any. I expected landmines everywhere. Except for the remote areas, landmines are no longer a major problem. Yes, it's still a very poor country. Yet instead of just resting on the splendor of their ancient past, or consumed by the bitterness of their recent past, I found Cambodians eager to embrace the present and hopeful for the future. This short visit of Cambodia has been eye-opening. There is still so much more to see of this amazing country, a fusion of a rich past and a vibrant present.
ChannelNewsAsia International, a network of MediaCorp Group.